hate this foundation. I hope you guys don't get mad at me. Hopefully I don't make anyone angry. What's up, y'all? Hey guys, I'm back with a new video, and in this video, I'm gonna be spilling a little bit of hot tea in this video. I'm basically gonna be sharing with you 5 foundations that I happen to think are the worst foundations ever. All right. I'm being dramatic. I want to say that they are the worst foundations for me personally, because obviously we all have different skin types, skin textures, skin colors, skin problems. But for me personally, these 5 foundations just have not worked for me. No matter how hard I have tried, a lot of them I have worn them for long periods of time. And I feel so bad because I don't like to use the word hate, but just let's say I strongly dislike these foundations. I know you're waiting for me to hurry up and tell you what they are, so let's get into the video. But before I do, please make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. I might do a series, only if you guys want it. Comment below and let me know if you want me to do a concealer version of this, a setting powder version, and also don't forget to turn on your notification buttons so you do not miss my videos. So the first foundation I'm gonna pull out of my pile of foundations that I strongly dislike and almost hate, the Jouer Foundation. I know a lot of people like this foundation. This is their high coverage cream foundation. This is the one where they came out with it and then they extended the range. When this foundation first came out, I was so excited because it is like the most full coverage foundation I have ever tried in my life. I know when it comes to the new way that everyone does their makeup now, like it's very extra, full coverage concealer, full coverage highlighter, like everything is just full cake, cover your face. And you know, I like both kinds of makeup. Sometimes I like it to look natural, sometimes I like it to look full coverage. This foundation though, I honestly think is too full coverage. This foundation reminds me of stage makeup. So when it first came out, I tried it out and I loved it because I was like, oh my gosh, you literally, honestly, you don't even need a full pump. Maybe like a half a pump, even like a little beep, and it will cover your face. You will not be you. You will be someone else. But I noticed as I started wearing this foundation, and mind you guys, I wore this for a long time. I wore this for months. The first few times, well, I would say like the first couple of weeks I used it, I did like it. But I did find that it gave my skin unnecessary texture. It made my face look way too cakey than it needed to. No matter how I set it, no matter what concealer I used, no matter what setting spray, no matter what my skin was going through at the moment. I've used this foundation when my skin was going through it as far as like texture and acne, and I've worn this foundation when my skin was basically flawless and I had no pimples, no scars, minimal texture, and it still looked like texture. It looked like poop. And I've tried different ways to apply it, whether it's with a blending sponge, a brush, my fingers. It always basically kind of came out with the same look. I don't like it anymore. I don't like it. It's too thick. It honestly feels like you're putting paint or cake frosting on your face. And yes, sometimes we want a full coverage foundation, but we don't want to feel the full coverage on the face. I'm gonna have to put it in the pile of one of the worst foundations of 2018. In my opinion. Okay? All right. The next foundation is the Bounce Liquid Whip Long Wear Foundation from Beauty Blender. I dislike this specific foundation. Well, first of all, the packaging is amazing. I wish I could remove this and use this packaging on all of my foundations. Like if it was interchangeable, just the fact that you can push it on there, take your sponge and pop it all over the place. It's brilliant. It's amazing. More foundations need to create that. But besides the packaging, I still don't like the foundation. I found that when I applied this foundation, and I still tried it after I did the video with Monica, Iris, and Ryan, I honestly was giving my judgment in that video and still now, where I did not like the way it looked on my skin. I hated the way it looked on my skin, and I I don't know why. It looked weird from any other foundation I've ever tried. This one isn't as full coverage as a Jouer. It's more of like a medium buildable foundation. But for some reason, it made me look older. Like it aged my skin a lot. That's why when you watch our reviews, you can't solely base your opinion 100% on us, because we could be having a bad skin day. We could have had a facial that week, so our pores are huge, or we could be breaking out. And those factors play a huge role in whether you're gonna like a foundation or a concealer on your skin. I have tried this foundation as well under different circumstances when it comes to my skin, whether I was breaking out, whether my skin looked flawless that day, or my pores were huge, and it still looked the same. It still looked the same. So that is why I really dislike this foundation, and this is why this is number 2. Who wants their skin to look more textured than it naturally is? You don't want that when you're doing your makeup. You don't want that when you're looking for a foundation. You want a foundation that's basically gonna make your skin look better than it really looks. That's the whole point. Okay, the next foundation, let me tell you. This company has another foundation that I am in love with. And I haven't used it in a while, but it's still considered one of my favorites. But then they came out with another one. And I was super excited because I'm like, okay, if the other one was good, this one's even gonna be better or just as great. But then I got confused because I think the foundation that I'm referring to as the other foundation that I loved, I think this was a rebranding. I don't know if they changed the formula. I know the packaging is definitely different. I believe that this is a remake of one of their foundations. And if it is, I'm gonna be so sad because I hate this foundation. I was like, what the hell is this? All right, anyways, it is the Becca Cosmetics Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. Let me tell you, I tried that, and it's really rare where I put a foundation on, because I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to doing my makeup, if something looks a little off where I'm like, I can fix it a little bit, it's not gonna look that bad, like it's not gonna kill me, I'm leaving it. I'm not one of those people who their makeup has to be perfection, and then if I have a mistake, like I'm gonna wash my whole face off. I'm not doing that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I applied this, and I thought I was gonna be able to do that. I'm like, you know what, I don't like the way it looks. I really, really strongly dislike it. It looked so cakey and gooky, and it felt disgusting on my skin. It felt like I did not wash my face that day. And I'm like, you know what, it's cool. I'm still gonna go through with the concealer. I'm gonna set it, put the full face on, see how it looked. I ended up washing my face. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It just felt so disgusting. It was one of those foundations where, like, when you take your nail and you go like that and it's just under your nail and it's thick, and just, I wore this foundation in my house because there was no way I was going out with this foundation. I wore it in my home just to see how long it lasts, how it acts with my oils, and this ain't it. This ain't it. All right, so we have 2 more foundations. Well, that's 4. We have 2 more foundations left. This is another brand where I feel like it's almost the same situation as the Becca Foundation. I'm praying that it's not. This foundation is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin, 24 hours lasting power. I love, now I actually just went on Google to see if I'm thinking what I'm thinking, and I think what I'm thinking is right. So the Matte Velvet Skin Foundation from Makeup Forever is a redo and a reformulated new packaging of an old foundation that you can see in my older videos. I think it was my top favorite or top best foundations for oily skin video. And it has the same name. So I'm getting really sad because this is a reformulated version of that foundation. They just ruined one of my favorite foundations. I can't stand this new formula. It honestly looked like when I was done, like I didn't know how to do my makeup. The way that it was blending was really strange. It was almost acting as if it was a water-based foundation, and I don't believe it is. And I don't really like water-based foundations because I find that when you're blending them, they kind of pick up with the sponge or the brush that you're using. So if I used the brush, it was extremely streaky, and if I used the sponge, it was picking it up and moving the foundation. I mean, even when I wore it, my husband, he tells me the truth. Like, if my makeup looks crazy, if my color match of my foundation is off, if my brows look too bold. So he knows, you know, when something's off and it's not looking right. And when I wore this foundation, he was like, do you have on a new foundation? That is the reaction I had when I tried this foundation. This did not look velvety on my skin. It did not look velvety at all, not even close. The old one did look velvety, and I'm gonna miss it. It lasted the longest. When you set that bad boy, it looked beautiful. Even if you didn't set it and you wore it more on the natural side, it still looked amazing. This foundation does not do that. I'm very sad. I will not be using this foundation or purchasing this ever again. This foundation is from a brand called Haley's, and it's the Reset Liquid Matte Foundation. This is what it looks like. Even the packaging is super pretty. It's super sleek, and I'm like, this is gonna work. This is gonna look really, really good. And not only that, I love the undertones. The undertones are perfect. You can see how yellow it is, because I'm yellow. So as you're applying it, it does look beautiful. It was full coverage, like medium to full coverage, definitely buildable if you want full coverage. Now, when I finish my face, it looks amazing. But as the day goes by, actually not the day, I'm giving it too much credit, not the day. As the hour goes by, it just looks crazy. I thought because it was matte, when my oil started to come through, this, you know, wouldn't budge, it wouldn't move. All I would have to do is pat my face, touch up, and it would look like brand new. But this thing spread apart like crazy. That is one thing I hate when it comes to a foundation, is when it starts to spread apart. My nose completely, I had holes on the nose where the pores are. It was spreading apart over here, all in my creases, which I don't even really have lines and creases like that. I only have them if I like cake my face like crazy, or if it's a really bad foundation like this one. And it was basically giving me unnecessary creases that I don't even have on a normal day. It just looked super dry. Like if you have dry skin, run the other way, forget about it. Don't even try it, because your patches are gonna be accentuated, your lines are gonna be accentuated, and your skin is gonna look older, obviously, because you have dry skin. This foundation is just way too matte, and I don't even feel right saying that, because I'm like, I love anything matte, and if you have oily skin, you love matte products, but this foundation is too matte, as far as it's so matte that it's dry. It's almost like a liquid powder. That's the perfect example I can give you. It's like a liquid full coverage powder. It's like when you apply it on, it's a liquid, but when it dries like a straight up powder, like you have no moisturizer on your face, and your face is just very dry, and you applied foundation over it. Like it's wintertime skin, and you didn't moisturize, and you trying to put powder foundation, powder highlighter, powder contour, set your face with more powder. That is how this foundation looks. So this is the last foundation in my top worst foundations ever. I know a lot of the times we don't like to share what we dislike, because if we dislike it, we just forget about it and we don't use it again. But sometimes we need to share it with y'all, because then you get to save your money and not waste your time purchasing a foundation that might be questionable. Of course, not in any way, shape, or form am I saying don't try them. I'm just saying, if you want to try them, just have your eye out, do your research, save your receipts. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, well, those were all the foundations that I strongly dislike. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go and check one of these videos out, and you can click right here to subscribe to my channel to see more videos from me. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Deuces.